Good day. Today we are going to do a mathematics lesson in grade 9 where the topic is going to be area and perimeter of 2D shapes, and this is lesson 1. So to begin the lesson, we first have to revise a few concepts that most learners would have covered in grade 8. So the first concept would be perimeter, and perimeter is the sum lengths of the sides of a shape. For example, if I had a square that was 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters on each side, the perimeter would be 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Okay? The next concept is area. Area is simply the amount of space covered by a shape. For this lesson, we're going to be dealing with polygons, and the types of polygons we are going to be dealing with are squares, rectangles, rhombi, and parallelograms. Okay, let's simplify the information that we have in a table. So I'll put a square here and a rectangle. If I wanted to work out the perimeter, the perimeter is simply 4 times the length, or 4 times the side. If I wanted to work out the perimeter for a rectangle, the perimeter would be 2 times the sum of the length plus the breadth. If I wanted to work out the area of a square, the area of a square is side times side, or side squared. The area of a rectangle is length times breadth. Now let's move on to a small investigation that's going to assist us in working out the area for a rhombus and a parallelogram. So we start off by drawing a parallelogram. And the first thing I'm going to do with this parallelogram is that I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to cut it right here. And if I cut this shape out, and I placed it right next to this existing parallelogram, I would be left with a shape that looks like this. And this is simply a rectangle. And we know how to work out the area of a rectangle is length times breadth. Now, to narrow it down or to make it a bit more clearer, if I call this cutting point, or the line that we're cutting, we call that H, this height here will also be H. And if I wanted to call this length right here the breadth, sorry, this length right here is the breadth. My area for a parallelogram will be length times breadth, but using the letters that we have now, it will be the breadth multiplied by the height. That's our formula for our parallelogram. Again, to work out the perimeter for a parallelogram will be the same procedure that you follow to work out the perimeter for a rectangle. You take this length, you add it to that length, you add it to the top length and to the side length, and that's perimeter. Now, if I wanted to work out the area of a rhombus, we know a rhombus is a tilted square, and we follow the same procedure we did for a parallelogram. You add your cutting line, you label that H, the distance from there to there, we can call it the breadth. And if I cut this space out and I moved it to the right hand side, I will have a square. Breadth and height. So once again, the area for a rhombus is equal to breadth times height. Okay, let's do a worked example. So a question says, calculate the perimeter and height of a rhombus with a base of 3.9 centimeters and an area of 31,2 centimeters. So I have a rhombus. My base is 3,9. The area is 31,2. They want the perimeter. The perimeter of a rhombus is the same as the perimeter of a square. So perimeter is equal to 4 times the side. 4, which is 4 times 3,9, which is 15,6 centimeters. Now if I wanted the height and I'm given the area, I can use the formula area is equal to the base times the height. The area is 31,2 centimeters squared and my base is 3,9 centimeters multiplied by the height. I am now solving for h, so I need to do the inverse operation. I can divide both sides by 3,9 centimeters, 3,9 centimeters, and I will get an answer that says h is equal to 8 centimeters. Now if we wanted to picture that, it would look something like this. 8 centimeters. Okay? Now, to do a quick recap of the lesson, remember that a square is similar in properties to a rhombus. And what is similar? So, the method to solve the perimeter, method for the perimeter, or you could say the formula, is the same, which is 4 times the side. Okay? And they look quite similar. A square and a rhombus. You could think of it as a rhombus is just a tilted square. Okay? Next, the next point is we can say that a rectangle shares some similarity with a parallelogram. A rectangle has two pairs of opposite sides that are equal, and the same goes for a parallelogram. A parallelogram is simply a tilted rectangle. Okay. Thank you for joining the lesson.